isolation has people, being creative and doing whatever they can, all their interests I didn't have time for all along, I suppose. Running a couple of podcasts over the next week and a half. Tonight I'm going to be chatting with Roy Noonan. Very interesting guy, martial arts, running, very inspirational guy with the stuff he does with his charity work and stuff. So yeah, let's see what Roy has to say. Take me back to the start, martial arts. Where did it all begin for Roy Noonan?
I guess when I first started doing it was in River's Edge Taekwondo Club. This would have been 2004 maybe. Yeah, just after secondary school pretty much. One of my buddies, I was doing security at the time, and he dragged me down. I didn't even want to go, but didn't know what Taekwondo was, didn't know the difference between any martial arts. So just at the club was around the corner from where I was renting. So I went in there, kind of enjoyed it. It was good crack. ITF, so it's like semi-contact.
Yeah.
But I was tall and flexible, so that suited that martial art. So I stayed with Taekwondo for about 2 years, got to green belt, which is like, anyone can get that. It's nothing, it's not that far up the ladder. But while I was in there, one of the other students was handing out this VHS cassette of Fight Science, and at the time, like, the UFC was already worldwide, but I didn't know much about it. But I watched the video. The reason he was handing out the video was this Taekwondo guy was jumping up in the air doing these 3 kicks before he comes down, and it looked cool. So we all wanted to try that. So watched it. It was cool. So I'd rewind it and watch the whole thing and see what else is on it. And there was like showing all the good stuff like boxing, Muay Thai, all these things. And after a while, it started dying down. I was going into the kind of the Mac Dojo martial arts. So I was losing interest. But then they introduced this guy who claimed he could beat a guy without throwing a single punch at him. And it was Hickson Gracie. They were calling him Rickson Gracie on the video. So he came out, put a guy in a neck crank, and they used the car crash test dummy for him to put it on full whack. And they basically said, that's paralysis or death, whichever one. And I was kind of going, I need to learn this. So Googled Rickson Gracie.
Yeah.
And of course, Royce Gracie came up. So then I was into UFC 1 and all that, and the Gracie Challenge. So I started looking and realizing, this thing called, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is out there. And started Googling that in Cork, see if there were any clubs. There was one club, Liam Beechner. And at the time, he was in McCurtain Street. He was around for quite a while, actually, before I came across what Jiu-Jitsu was. So, I went to his club probably within a few days and got absolutely destroyed by the white belts. I was confident going in there, but they just showed me, this is just a normal class, and loved it. Went back to Taekwondo, and nothing there kind of don't really impressed me anymore. So I made the switch then to Jiu-Jitsu, and nearly 13 years later, still at it, and still quite a long ways to go yet before I consider myself, a Jiu-Jitsu guy. So at the moment, I'm brown belt under Felipe Martins, and opened up my own little club in Carrigaline, which is temporarily closed, same as any other club at the minute.
Christ, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I hope all the other clubs come out of it okay. I hope they're all able to remain open, continue. But we just have to see what happens, really.
Yeah.
But that's where I started. It was Taekwondo, which is, a lot of people start in Taekwondo.
Will you ever go back to it?
Probably the most one. You know what? It's on my bucket list. I'm saying I will. I got a lot of stuff I want to do first, but it is there. It is something. I don't like the idea that I started it and didn't at least make it the black belt.
Yeah, you'll never finish, I guess. But
yeah, I will. I just, I'd be a lot older and less flexible and all those other nice things, But I got a lot of stuff on my bucket list. I wanna get into judo more as well. So
The
And
judo is
again,
obviously very functional in BJJ as well, like, isn't it? So they'd both go hand in hand.
yeah, well, yeah, it's so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu comes from Kodokan Judo, so the the stand-up part of BJJ, Judo is very dominant in that. If in a Jiu-Jitsu tournament, if you're up against a Judo black belt, for example, you're going to be fairly iffy about standing with them. Like you score 2 points in Jiu-Jitsu for being taken down or for performing a takedown. So or the Judo guy has that advantage at the start. When it's on the ground, obviously it comes down to who spent more time on the ground training.
Yeah.
But I value Judo a lot. If wrestling was more prominent in Ireland or in Cork, I'd be there as well, definitely.
Is it not? Is there not any? Is there any full-on wrestling club in Cork?
Not that I know of in Cork. No, could be wrong, but I haven't come across one that's just like primarily wrestling. MMA clubs have wrestling classes, or they have. They might have seminars and stuff with wrestling coaches, but I don't think there's a full-time wrestling club. Amateur wrestling club, at least. Not professional, but I don't know of one in Cork yet. Anyway, now there's plenty of judo clubs, there's sambo clubs, and there's MMA clubs with guys who have phenomenal wrestling. But I don't know if there's a full-on wrestling only club. Yeah. But it is something I would like to do as well. I'm getting into more and more just in training now, to go for double legs and things like that, as opposed to like jiu-jitsu is kind of more guard pulling and things like that, or using judo takedowns. But do
you see the BJJ game changing? Do you ever see, as things are going on, does it always stay the same? You just get good at this, you get good at this, or does it have phases where it's in and out of different styles?
Definitely phases. It's evolving all the time. The last big phase, I think, was the leg lock phase. The kind of last 2 years that just came out. Everyone was attacking for leg locks. Now, some of the rule sets in some competitions won't allow certain types of leg locks, like heel hooks and stuff. But but people are investing their time in learning them still, because other competitions will allow it.
Yeah.
But no, jiu-jitsu it's always changing. It's right now, because of the quarantine, someone is messing around with a grappling dummy and they're coming up with something.
Yeah.
And when the club's open, they'll try it and they'll realize that they're onto something, and it'll evolve again.
Yeah.
If you look at it from, we just say UFC 1, the level that Hoist Gracie was at then versus what's out there nowadays. The curriculum is even wider again. It's evolving. You're
talking about rule set there. What's the one rule, if you were to pick one, that you could change in the scoring?
I'd allow he looks a lot earlier. In the scoring, I don't know. Like, I love the sub only. I love the fact that they don't score.
Yeah.
And they just because you get to take more risks. But there's certain things like I think I would like to award points for other things. Like, we say you get 4 points if you get back mount. So you get your 2 hooks in, you hold it for 3 seconds, and you score your 4 points. I think if you keep advancing your position, they should keep rewarding you with points.
Yeah.
So if you go from your 2 hooks in to a body triangle, as an example, I think that's a more dominant position again. I think they should award something maybe for that, or
progressive.
Yeah. No, I would get rid of the advantage points. I'm not a fan of them at all. So that would be, we say you and me are in competition. You get me in a guillotine choke, and just by luck I get out of it. I was nearly going to tap to it, but I managed to get out somehow. They award you an advantage point, but they're kind of awarding failure, if you know what I mean. You didn't, you were unsuccessful with it, but there's an advantage point in there. I get it that you're being rewarded for attacking, but it's like picture in boxing. If I threw a combo at you and missed with every single one of them, and you decided, give him some points there, just to.
Give him points.
Yeah, give him points.
He tried.
Yeah, participation points.
Yeah.
But that's something I would like to change is get rid of the advantage points. But I'm also get rid of points altogether and do sub onlys.
Yeah.
So bring in heel hooks as well.
If you had the choice right now, would you go right? Points are gone. and it's sub only from now on? Or do you think, for your students, as a coach, and you're looking at your students, do you think it's good to have a point structure there for them to be able to, okay, I need to do this to get points here, I need to do this to get points here?
It's like, it's good from the sports side of it. Like I understand, I get what they're doing with him. Like we say, you get Mount, you get 4 points, because getting Mount in a self-defense scenario, you're probably going to win that scenario if it's a one-on-one. So I can understand, the value of, it's worthwhile going to that position and investing in your training to get to that position. So you get points, but in the real world, you probably don't get beaten up or something like that, we say. So I understand them. I would like to train both still. But, like I love the sub-only rules where there's longer rounds. The time period is doubled nearly.
Yeah.
And then they have the overtime stuff like that. So I enjoy that side of it more. I think because you can take bigger chances in the round. And if it goes to overtime, if the other guy's wrecked, tired, even if you were defending the whole round, but he's exhausted from trying, like mentally, I think you can, you kind of have one up on him going into the overtime rounds.
Yeah.
But like every comp is different, every rule set is different to every competition now.
Yeah. What do you think of that the combat BJJ? That's a bit mental.
I get it. I understand why they're doing it. Because it's a stepping stone towards MMA maybe.
Yeah.
Again, it's like remember when the Muay Thai guys wore the pro MMA gloves?
Yeah.
Like it's like, and it obviously in the cage as well, as opposed to the ring. But that felt like it was shaping them up towards MMA. And I think combat jiu-jitsu is, jiu-jitsu's answer to it. But
EMT, that was called.
Yeah.
Caged those events were fucking mental.
Yeah, bloodbaths.
They were mental. Like
I remember seeing before and after pictures of the fighters.
Yeah,
and they were unrecognizable.
Sean Clancy and Budden, one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. But like his lip, his lip was halved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's a John Wayne Parr creation.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be a little bit out there if he created.
The thing with adding, if you can call them strikes in combat, just because they're open hand and it's only when you're on the floor, it does open up more attacks in jiu-jitsu. If you're grappling with someone and they're grappling back with you, it's more difficult.
Yeah.
If they're trying to separate to strike you, sometimes they give you stuff for free, like they extend their arm to hold you away.
Yeah.
They give you an arm bar, or they reach back to kind of throw a haymaker.
Yeah.
If you can get the leg up, they're going to land into a triangle choke, things like that. Like so, it exposes submissions on. But but I do understand that they're trying to, build more bridges to make it more compatible with MMA.
Yeah. It's a 10-planet creation, isn't it?
I'm not too sure. I don't know if it is. If it might be. Yeah.
You mentioned Liam there as well, Liam Beechner. Obviously still has a fantastic club going, and one of the biggest events in the BJJ calendar year in Ireland was going to be the Cork Open. Such a shame as well to see that cancelled, isn't it?
Yeah. But like I said, he's got such a well-established club. I've no doubt he'll be back. With a strong team, and they'll be setting up comps again in no time.
Yeah.
He's been setting up comps, like top level competitions in the country, in Cork and in Dublin, for years now. So I have no doubt that he'll bounce back as well. His club, he's got a fantastic team. The guys that I trained with when I was there, like they're all A1 guys, and they're all workhorses, So, I'd have full confidence he'll this is only a little blip. It won't slow down. It won't slow down his club or anything like that. I don't think. I hope not. Yeah.
It puts everybody it puts everybody at the mercy of anywhere that they're renting as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Full-time clubs. Yeah. Full-time clubs are kind of in trouble because they're obviously they've got huge overheads. I don't know how much kind of a government thing is going to cover them. Then you have clubs that are subletting, so they're having their fingers crossed that the person that they're subletting off is going to be okay. It's just, it leaves everybody kind of guessing, I guess. But I know later on this week, myself and yourself are going to join into a conversation with a couple of other lads. We'll discuss the kind of impact that's going to have going forward. But it does, as a fan of MMA, of Muay Thai, of BJJ, it worries me because, like, I love going to the events. I love taking pictures there. I love seeing the lads that I've taken pictures of, 9-10 years ago, that are at a really high level now. And I'd hate to think that the whole industry in this country could take a huge hit, because I know these events that they put on, obviously they're club fundraisers. That's what they've always been.
Yeah.
For boxing events, that's what they've always been. So there's a massive chunk of funding gone, and you're relying on people staying, with the money that they're paying, their annuals, all this kind of stuff, or the monthlies. If that drops off, there could be, for years, there could be a bit of a hiccup in this country with all these clubs, couldn't there?
Yeah, like you're right. They really are kind of at the mercy of their their overheads with the rents and stuff like that. I'm very lucky where I am. Cahill, the owner of Solid Fitness, he's sounded out. Like I messaged him asking him, like, what way is this going to go and stuff, and he was like, yeah, it's grand. Don't worry about it. When we get back, we'll come back slowly as well. Like, it'll be gradual.
Yeah.
So he said, like, don't think there's any pressure on you. But on the other side, then the students have been messaging saying, look, do you want a monthly membership fee, or we don't want to see the place go. So really? I just pass it on to them, say no. Yeah, like, and there's a few of them.
That's nice to hear as well. Like,
no, if there was any hassles, it's nice to know that they're willing to do that. But I couldn't, if I'm not paying a rent or something like that, then I couldn't pass on a charge or add a charge for nothing.
Yeah.
It would have been nicer, like, to do, like, home training, like solo drills, or make a grappling dummy and this is how you train it. But
yeah,
I couldn't charge full memberships for that, if you know what I mean. So what we've done is, some of the lads have asked for a lend of mats, so we lent them out. A couple of homemade grappling dummies, which I thought was cool.
I saw that.
So some of them are brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
So I got one ordered, just waiting on it, but that could be a month, by the time it gets here.
Yeah.
So, but look, when things calm down, it's an extra training tool that we have then as well in the gym for the lads.
They're good. They're heavy as fuck as well.
I've no idea what the limit is on this thing. It's like 6 foot tall. So
yeah.
But I want a pack of sand or something, make it as heavy as possible, and just use it for judo throws or everything, whatever you fancy, I suppose.
So obviously, right, there's this fucking mental side of you as well that likes to punish yourself with running. Talk to me. Like, where did that start?
I don't know. I guess I've always been, like, just into sports and wanting to, be competitive and push myself a bit more all the time. In work as well, in the military, they kind of engraved that attitude into me. Obviously, running is a big thing in the military, say in the army, in particular. So every year you have fitness tests to do. But a lot of guys get into running because they're just doing it so often. Like 10K will be a normal kind of distance to do in the military. So from there, I got qualified as a personal trainer, and I was teaching like a boot camp class, like an outdoor kind of fitness class.
Yeah. And
I wanted to get everyone up to 10K. So when we got there, then they asked about doing a relay team for the Cork City Marathon. So my first, I guess, taste of endurance sports was just a full-length marathon. So what I did was they handed over the relay every relay station, and I just stayed with them the whole way. So as the relay member changed over, I would just run with them, just just in case they. This was 2015, and I think again in 2016 with the marathons. Now, I didn't enter the actual marathons officially. I just ran alongside them in case they needed anything. So But I kind of got a taste for it. So I remember the first one was like 4 hours 20, and the next one was like 4 hours 17 or something like that. And like there was a little bug in my head that, I wanted to know what can I do on my own.
Yeah.
Just, just anyway.
Yeah.
So I didn't enter the next year, but the year after, I started getting more and more into running again. So I went for that one. That was my first official marathon, and like pushed and all that, and like you're broke up for a day or two after, but
yeah,
just I started getting more and more into running and stuff like that, and that's when I came across David Goggins, the Navy SEAL or the ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
He kind of introduced the world of ultra running in one of the podcasts, and how I stumbled across him was he referenced Horace Gracie about fighting 4 guys in one night, and he was the smallest guy. So that popped up on Facebook, and I kind of clicked on him. And I was already watching Jocko Willink, another ex-Navy SEAL. So he was on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple of times. So
yeah.
I was thinking, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt and a Navy SEAL. So I was thinking, this guy is another one of these guys. But straight away then I realised, David Goggins is different. So he started going on about ultra running and all that, and I had no clue what it was. I didn't think there was a distance after the marathon. I thought the whole thing with the marathon, I thought was, that's it. Like once you hit that distance, you completed it. Well done. Now it's all about getting a faster time. But the only event that I thought of that goes beyond the marathon was an Ironman, which is basically a triathlon with swimming, bike, and then the marathon at the end. But then I realised, there's actually events out there, like his story with the running 24 hours to qualify for another race and all that. So started kind of Googling around to see what was out there. And the first one that came up was the Donadia Ultra Marathon Festival. And the smallest event that they ran was the 50K, which is, like a marathon is 42.1 or 2 or something. So, it's just a little bit beyond it.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll train for that one. I'll give that one a go. And I was telling myself, look, I've done 3 marathons. I've done a couple of half marathons just in work and stuff like that. That I'll just, jump in, see how it goes. So up I arrived with my backpack with all my junk food in it. And when I got to the registration, the guy there was like, you can set your table up here if you want. And I was looking at him going, I don't have a table. I don't know what the hell you're on about, man.
You don't have a
table. He just basically asked what did I have in the bag, and it was like a couple of bottles of water, junk food, just to keep me going. So he said, look, you can use my table. Every time you pass this point, have your stuff ready. You can just grab it and run again. So I was thinking, that's cool. So there's just a big lap, and you keep going and keep going and keep going until you do the 50K. So the lap up in Donadia was 5K lap? Yeah, 5K lap. So 10 laps. The slogan was 10 laps and fuck off. That's what the race director was saying. So started out as if it was a marathon. So I kind of went at a decent enough pace, which is stupid. I had no idea what I was doing. I was running with these real elite runners, and they were doing 100K, or some of them were even doing 100 miles. So I was thinking, these guys, they're going to be going slow because they're going so far that I should be ahead of them at all times. So I stayed with them for about 60% of it until my legs basically just went from underneath me. So I don't know where I was in the category. I think it was like 3rd or something in my category at the time. I was way ahead of everyone, but I was walking at this stage. My legs were just gone.
Yeah.
So finished it. I think I came 4th within my group, but I didn't care. I just wanted to finish it. And I was completely disorientated at the end of it. When I was coming around the last lap, there was a guy way up ahead of me. And I remember saying, like, if I just catch one more guy, overtake one more guy, I'm happy. And I ran and ran and ran and ran. In the last corner, I caught him. But like I was dead on my feet, like crossed the line. The race director thought I had another lap to go. He was asking me. The reason he was asking me was because that guy had another lap to go. At some point, I lapped him, but I don't know what it was. I didn't register that I lapped him previously or something. I don't know. Maybe he was in the toilet or something, and I as I passed the start line again, and I
Yeah.
didn't see him. But so yeah, that was my first one. Like, you know, I was wrecked and all that. The legs were completely gone. You kind of hit the wall like you do in a marathon, but
Is
when you
that
hit
a
it
thing? I often hear people
yeah,
talking about the wall, but
um, the first marathon I done, I don't think I hit it. I think the pace was slow enough that I I was able to carry myself through it. So I had no respect for marathon runners at all. The next year was I hit bad. I was 2-3 miles to go only. I was done by the Maradike Arena, heading back in towards the city where the end of it is. And I just remember my quads just like, it felt like they turned to concrete, and like I could limp. That was as fast as I could move.
yeah,
But it was close enough to the end that you can just get there, you know, and
yeah,
you know the break is coming. But with the ultras, you know, even the 50k, that extra 8 or so k was, or less than 8k. Like, if you hit the wall there, it's a really long way to go still.
yeah.
But so I kind of learned a few lessons from that one. Like, obviously pace myself at the start, which I find very hard to do. I get competitive straight away, and
yeah, you see, I'd go. Obviously, I'd go doing a little bit of cycling and all this kind of stuff as well. And the biggest mistake I always make, I'm a fat bastard. Biggest mistake I always make is I just go, look how good I am. I'm flying. And then all of a sudden, when I'm after setting myself a target, and I might as well forget about the target because I'm after blowing my fucking load about an hour too early.
yeah,
But
it's
I often wonder, looking at people like you, like doing these running events, are they, you know, you mentioned David Goggins, are they talking themselves as they're going through? Are they like, you said it there, just pass out this guy?
oh yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if 50k, like in the world of ultra running, 50k is, you know, you're a baby, you're a wimp. So and even like 100k is not really looked on. It's the 100 miles. They say when you hit 100 miles, that's when the races start. That's when the elite athletes, they're warmed up now. They're going to start pushing.
Yeah.
And when I was doing 50k, the 100k guys were gods to me. Same way when I started with jiu-jitsu, the blue belts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even make eye contact with them. They were like, oh God, these guys.
Yeah.
They have powers beyond what I can comprehend, you know. But you do talk to yourself. You do set, well, in your head, like not out loud.
Yeah. Come on, pass
but you
out
do
that
set
fella. Pass
goals.
out that fella.
Yeah. Curse them as you pass them. I find, because we say we'll walk the fitness test and work, you know, you have a deadline to get to a certain point, and you have to be kind of moving fairly quick, like you're doing like sub 7-minute miles, we just say. And when I feel like, oh, I'm starting to, you know, slow down slightly, I start picking things ahead of me, like that light, that street sign, that car.
Yeah.
But before I get to it, I'm telling myself, that's your finish line. Just get to there. Forget everything else. Just get to that small target in front of you. But just before I get it, I can see a little further down the road now. I'll pick something new.
Yeah.
Forget the car. I'll go to the next little light post or whatever it is.
Yeah.
With the ultras, you could start saying, right, I'll do another lap. I'll get another 5k done. I'll see how I am, and you know, I'll get my head around that, and then I'll go again. But you can't kind of go out and say, like it's 50k, I'll do 50k every grand, or I'll do 100k every grand. It's too big of a target, you know.
Yeah.
The next ultra that I done was it was a different rule set, and I kind of enjoyed it because it's designed to, you know, for you to give everything, and wherever you finish on it, just, you know, you get eliminated if you don't hit a checkpoint by a certain time. So
yeah,
the way it worked was, it was a 4.16 mile lap, and you have an hour to do it, which isn't fast at all. It's like 11-minute miles or something.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's a fast walk at best. You know, there's inclines and there's trail and road that you're on. But you have an hour to do it. If you get in, we just say you get in 50 minutes. Well, you have 10 minutes to sort yourself to go again. If you get in with 5 minutes to spare, you have 5 minutes. If you leg it and you come in with 30 minutes to spare, you have 30 minutes left for the next lap.
Yeah.
But obviously you're going to fatigue, pretty quick.
Yeah.
So they call them backyard ultras, or last one standing is the other one. And there's a rule to it, and it's an evil rule, but I love it. So we say you and me are the last two. So we go till there's one left. We're on, I don't know, we just say we're on lap, 30. If I start the lap and I don't make the time, I don't get in within the hour, you're the last one left, but you have to do a full lap extra on your own and get in under the time to win it. If you don't get in under the time, you get eliminated as well, and there's no winner. And I think that's cool. And I'd say that last lap must be the most paranoid lap for everyone that has gotten that far.
Yeah.
And
time-wise, how long would these go on for?
The last one went 36 or 37 hours in total. Yeah, I was home and all. This was up in Northern Ireland. I was home and all. So I finished up my one in like 15 hours or 15 and a half, because I went over the 15 hours.
Yeah.
By the time I finished my lap, so that was me eliminated. We just say after 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Stayed in my tent until about 7 or 8 in the morning, and I woke up to the race directors calling like 3 minutes to the next lap. It's for the runners that are still out there to try and get in time,
right?
Or anyone hanging around. And like just a few hours earlier, I would just come in, like collapse onto my seat inside the tent, and I'd hear them shout 3 minutes to the next lap, and they'd be like, "Oh my god!" And you're trying to get yourself sorted quickly to go again.
How do you? Right, if you're this person that ran 36 hours, how do you even? Do they have a game plan, or do they go out and just they get to the end of 1 mile and they go, or one circuit and go, right? I have 15 minutes. Do I close my eyes? Do I eat? How do they even? The kind of strategy I picked up was like my first lap I came in 47 minutes, and everyone that finished around me, they were all like, "Oh, this is way too fast, way too fast." So the next one I came in around 50, and they were still saying it's too fast. So I don't think they're getting any sleep, unless you pick a lap where you just say, right, this one I'm just going to leg it. Yeah.
But I don't know, is that good strategy? Like my thinking was, okay, when I get in, do my feet need any treatment? Is there any issues with my feet?
Were you on your
own? I need to change my socks? Yeah, pretty much. So I call these self-support. So if I was running like 100 kilometers from A to B, I'd need a car or a crew with me to kind of, to be my aid station that's pulling in every couple of miles for me. But on this one, because it's laps, I can just set up a tent with everything in it at the start, and I'm good to go. I just grab what I need.
I'm sorry, no.
Well, yeah, and that one I was on my own.
That's fucking mental.
I'll get you up on one yet. I'll get you to do one yet.
Please don't know that.
And we'll up it from there. We'll find something else.
That is genuinely, you have to be a different kind of.
I was in awe. I remember running. We were hours into it. The first couple of guys were starting to drop out. We were expecting guys to drop out just at the marathon mark, or just beyond it, or the 50k mark. But just that particular race or that event, there was real elite guys on it there. So I don't know what lap I was on, but we were hours into it. And one of the guys goes, "I hear there's a medal, at the 50-mile mark. If you make it to 50 miles, you get an extra medal." And I was kind of going, "Oh, yeah, that's doable. Like, I'll aim for that one. Like, that's a good target." And this guy behind me said, I think this year there's a 200-mile as well, which is 48 hours. And I was kind of looking at him like, now this guy looked bananas, like big beard, just looked insane. But I was kind of going, I was like, I won't be getting 200 medal today anyway. So, and I remember then the 50 was the goal. So 12 hours in is the 50-mile mark.
That's insane.
And when we got called out, we said to start that next lap. If you're not there at the start, like you're instantly disqualified. So, like at this stage, I'm limping over to the start line, but I'm trying to hide it. I'm trying to act like I'm grand. Not that it really matters to anyone, but the group that I was kind of hanging around with, they were starting to pull away from me now a little bit. You know, like I was finishing within the time, but they were finishing like 3 or 4 minutes ahead of me, and I couldn't close the gap. You know, like the legs were really starting to go. So I managed to. I remember I got the 50 mile mark, but I wasn't sure if there was a medal or not. So far, like, not that it matters, but you know, in my head, that was the target.
Yeah.
So I said, look, I'll do another lap, you know. So because I qualified for the next lap by finishing within the time.
Yeah.
So one of the guys, Richard was his name, he was just running with me. Just, you know, he'd done 100 miles previously, I think, and he stuck his head into the tent just to see did I make it. And like I was in bits, and he was like, "You're grand, are you going to go again?" I was like, yeah. And as soon as I said it in my head, I was like, why are you saying yeah?
Yeah.
And he just goes, like, we're 3 laps away from the 100k. I'm going to stay on for that. And he was like, will you go for it? And I was like, yeah, sure, fuck it, I'll try. So I got that done. But the thing is, the last lap, so that you're 4 miles shy of it, we say. Doesn't matter how slow you get in. If you get eliminated, but you once you complete the lap, you've hit that distance. So in a weird way, there was loads of guys ahead of me, but my final position is classed as like joint 11th or something like that, because there was so many people got eliminated with me in that lap, or they turned back on the next lap, or they refused to start the next lap if they made it in on time. So but if you believe it or not, they're fun events. They are really fun. Every lap you come in,
they sound fucking riveting.
You know, you see the numbers dropping down, and you kind of get a sense of like this is getting good. But when I got up the next morning, like I was seized up and lactic acid and all that, and to see the last couple that were standing there, they hadn't even hit 100 miles yet. They were still actually loading. There was about 8 or 9 of them still.
Jesus.
And like they looked like zombies. And I remember the whole way home I was following it, because every hour the race director was updating who's left, who got eliminated. And like I was home, I got a night's sleep. The next morning I'm looking at it and it's still going on.
That's mad.
And I thought it was crazy. What was really cool then was the next regular marathon that I done. The winner of the last ultra was at it. And we got yapping and we ran together for most of the marathon, so that was cool. I was getting some tips off him.
Yeah.
But he went, I think he said 36 or 37 hours, which is
Christ. Even just
insane.
to stay awake for that amount of time is fucking hard.
Yeah. Stay awake and keep going. But they're dead. Like they live for running. Like that's their jiu-jitsu in my mind. You know what I mean? That's their main sport. Like that's what they want to do more than anything else. So, but like even in the marathon with that guy, like he's from Dennis Keane. He's from Kerry. He was telling me like we're on like mile 17, and he's asking about Man Point. Like he wants to go there after the marathon, and I was kind of going, geez, like I won't even be able to climb a flight of stairs after this. Like, and he's planning out his day. Like he wants to go shopping. But it just shows how unfazed 26 miles is to him. Like,
Yeah. How do you define the perfect runner?
You definitely do build up a tolerance, I find anyway. So if I did nothing for 2 weeks and I did like a half marathon, we just say, so 13 miles. I just over 13 miles. I would struggle with it. I would find it difficult to get a decent time. We say to get just say under 2 hours or something at least. We say if I took 2 weeks or so off. I found that with the elite runners as well. If they took a couple of weeks off, they really drop back fast in their performance. So the trick is to stay on top of it. It is definitely a sport that has an older age group. Just from what I've seen with people, I don't know. It's weird. And they're the guys and girls that are dominating it. Like I didn't go in thinking, I got 10 years on everyone here. I should be good to go. But they're just seasoned runners. as you say, like they have a massive tolerance built up. Um, it's it's just a different world like for them. But like you see them when they're doing it, like they enjoy the hell out of it so much. Like
Yeah.
I remember, I was on the last marathon, overtaking someone like really really late in the marathon, and he was old. He was cracking jokes at me as I was passing him. Like he was delighted just to see someone, you know.
Jesus
Um,
Christ,
but I remember after I overtook him, I was like, "That's the attitude I should have.
Yeah.
I should be thinking like that, like Whereas in my head it's a lot darker. It's like I have to get this fucker here now,
Yeah,
before this corner or the world's going to end.
I always
I'm
find
really
it very,
growling, overtaking him.
obviously you all start at a certain point and it goes, all right, so I can do more. I'm going to challenge myself to this. And it always seems to be a goal setting thing as opposed to, I'm going to do this for the crack or whatever. Would you be goal
Yeah.
orientated with the running or?
Oh, absolutely. The first one was just to see how would I get on with it. But like straight away, like we said, on the 50k, the 100k runners were next to me. I'm like, I want to do what they're doing. I want to hit the 100k. I'm not as fussed about what time I get once I get it within the cutoff time, I suppose, where it counts. Like when I came back from that last one was just over 100k in total, and like the wife and the father who drove up and down.
Yeah.
He was like, that's out of your system now, like, and I was saying to him straight away, I said, I want to do 100 miles. I'd love a sub 24 hour 100 miles. And, I kind of hope that that's where I leave it. But, I probably won't.
Is that the goal? Is that the goal right now with the running?
Yeah. So the thing was, I was looking at the next one. That's when the charity stuff came in. I was thinking, why? And Dan's a great example, actually, that he raised massive money there that time in his back garden. Yeah. I could be using it. I could be doing more with it. Like I felt selfish by just doing ultras.
Yeah.
And now, so now I want to do, we say, for a charity or have something positive come out of it, we say.
Yeah.
But one of the goals I set, right, is it would have been 2 weeks ago, but it was a Limerick 24-hour ultra marathon. So it's a 1 mile loop, which would be, I think, mentally harder because it's a shorter lap. But it's fairly flat from what I hear, and you just go for 24 hours. If you do 50 miles, if you do just over a marathon, whatever you get. But my plan is to try and get a sub 100. That might be difficult at the start. That might take 3 or 4 goes of before my body is able to push for that long. But that is the goal. I kind of have that. When I get that, I'm going to set another goal beyond it. But I don't know, will it be with ultra running? It might be with something else. I might just say, I'll focus on something else now and achieve something else elsewhere.
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling myself, right, jiu-jitsu black belt, then all out for judo, get the black belt in that, and then go back to taekwondo eventually. But it is on the list. It's really far down at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll get the ultras and we'll get a few other things done in the meantime, and there'll be other stuff pop up that I have no interest in at the moment. I don't even know what they are. They'll just pop up and I'll get interested and get engrossed in it.
Unfortunately, towards the end there, Virgin Media decided that I didn't want to play ball with us tonight. Such a shame, really, because I was just going to start talking to Roy about his charity work for Chloe Jenkins. Chloe's a young girl that was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And Roy has been, running, and you could hear him there saying that he felt selfish doing it for no reason. So he set himself a target of €1,000 to raise for that girl. That's a very, very achievable target. He's after setting up a page on GoFundMe. The GoFundMe page is Roy's Running for Chloe's Journey. I'll try and get that link to you somehow. If any of you would like to donate to it, you can get on to me. You can leave me know. Or that link, I'll put that link somewhere in the description. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks very much. I appreciate any feedback, anyone that you'd like me to speak to, outside of martial arts, obviously, as well. I'm well open to speaking to everyone. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys. Cheers.